You know, PlayStation has a motto for video games right now, and it says this: play has no limits. And that's kind of cute when you think about it. It's got this idea like, oh, I'm limitless on my PlayStation 5 with all those great exclusives that I can play, which you won't have access to pretty soon when they close your account, remove those games from your account, and don't give you physical access to any video games. But hey, we'll get to that in just a moment. The thing is, though, that greed is extending and it's expanding, not only across PlayStation, but also across other industries and hobbies that are associated with video games. We're looking at this too small, as these corporations have a bird's eye view of how they're going to extract every single cent out of your back pocket with their entire plan. And unfortunately, it in fact does get worse the more you hear about it and the more things come into light. But PlayStation isn't the only one doing this. We've talked about this on the channel before. Practically every major gaming company, every major entertainment company is doing everything they can to restrict what you can buy, how you can buy it, and even if you can actually own it. It's spreading across everyone else. Nintendo has been dealing with this on top of that, where they've been going around and putting out game key cards, forcing publishers to go through and use that instead of paying more money for an actual key card that has more space on it. Now, to my knowledge, that may have already been rectified and other spaces of game cards are available, but the problem is this: they went ahead and began that first step. Everybody else has been doing the exact same thing too. Even Xbox has gone around and pushed you more into Game Pass, pushed you more into cloud streaming, pushed you more into not owning anything overall, even though their policies are far more lenient, but to a point. And it really proves to me one specific thing: these companies are not your friend. These corporations are not here for you. They may provide you entertainment. They may make fantastic games. But at the end of the day, what stops everything for them is how they break down the almighty and how many dollars they can extract out of your back pocket. The shocking thing about this, though, is apparently PlayStation's anti-physical disc campaign is not just going to be impacting video games, but it looks like everything that Sony even owns. Because according to GameSpot on Twitter saying this, Sony-owned Crunchyroll is now kneecapping physical anime sales. Okay, I'm sorry. What the hell is even going on right now? You're telling me that Sony and PlayStation are going to try and stop me from going out and buying a copy of Bible Black? I don't think so, buddy. The fact that this company is doing everything they possibly can to go through and sit there and say, you know what? Not only are you not going to have physical video games, you're not going to have physical anime as well either. And you're going to sign up to our services and buy our bunch of slop and do everything that we want because we're going to control every single aspect of everything. Not only just gaming, but every single piece of hobby that's associated in what we own and what we want to provide. This is actual insane control of the highest order. And unfortunately, it's going to get worse. Because here's what the article had to say. With the article saying this: unfortunately, it seems at the time of the Crunchyroll store being a massive anime retail store with a broad selection open to all is coming to a close. According to a recent statement and FAQ posted online, the store will be dropping much of its current stock and transitioning to, quote, a brand new shopping experience that will be available exclusively for Mega and Ultimate fans subscription tiers. Instead of physical discs, the Crunchyroll store will focus on, quote, collectibles, curated drops, and limited release products inspired by the anime series you love. So wait, hold on. First of all, I'm an old man. I'm in my 40s. I grew up in the era of we don't pay for anime, baby. That's where I came from, by the way. Secondly, if you want my own personal anime recommendation, I highly suggest Trigun and Perfect Blue. Literally two of the most insane animes you'll probably ever watch. But that's not for right now. We'll talk about that another day. What we're staring down the barrel with this one is that Sony isn't just stopping with games. They're stopping with physical media across all of their subsidiaries. Everything that could possibly have a DVD or a disc, they are removing. And the crazier part is the Crunchyroll store isn't just available for anyone. You now have to be a subscriber to that ultimate tier or mega tier in order to shop at that store and basically just buy a bunch of garbage Funko Pops that they pulled off the boat of basically just doing nothing over time, restricting the kind of content you can buy, restricting what you can actually own, and then at the same time controlling the actual space in the media that you're trying to consume and entertain yourself with every single day. We are now beyond everything that is just video games. Sony's entire press release about this isn't just for PS5, it's for Crunchyroll, it's for anime, it's for anything that has a disc, and I'll be damn betting sure that at some point it'll happen to their music section too, where you won't have access to any physical music whatsoever published by Sony at all. The big problem though is it doesn't just stop there, not just with games, not just with anime. This impacts the entire planet, because the one thing that everybody has been missing is truly going to be shown at this moment in time, and it's going to point out how greedy PlayStation truly is and how focused they are on maximizing the amount of money they're pulling out of your back pocket when you see this. Because according to The Gamer, digital-only PS6 has huge ramifications for over 100 countries, with the article saying this: 121 countries are unable to make PSN accounts, which means that they are unable to use the PlayStation Store in a digital exclusive future, which looks like for the PS6 after Sony announced plans to cease production of game discs in 2028. That means everyone in those countries will be locked out from purchasing titles on the platform. This was brought to the community's attention by one Reddit user who warned that there's no PlayStation Store in Georgia, which will make Georgians unable to buy video games after 2028. But the reality is far more alarming than one country being left out of next-gen gaming. 62% of countries won't be able to use the PlayStation 6. Nobody has thought of this. Nobody has put this together. And it's actually strange that after 2 weeks, it finally comes out and everybody realizes, PlayStation is trying to screw over the entire planet. And it gets worse, because when you really put the pieces together, you need a PSN account to sign into PlayStation to use their store. You need a PSN account now to play those games. You need a PSN account to attach those digital licenses to your actual system and to your account, and then that way you could have ownership of them after 14 days. PlayStation is gambling and betting that 62% of the entire planet is not worth a dime more so than all the whales across the other 38% of the planet that are more than willing to spend more money on their own storefront, literally cutting off their nose to spite their face. Watching as Sony and PlayStation are basically doubling down and betting that you are going to give them more money over time as they raise the price of games, raise the price of services, increase everything overall, and give you less ownership over everything, really goes to show that they are betting on the fact that you are a simp to their games, that you are going to bend the knee to them, that you're going to do whatever you can to defend them at every single turn. How nobody else has picked this up is actually shocking to me. Even I missed this overall because all I thought about was physical ownership. I didn't realize that PlayStation will then require you to have that PSN. And even on the PC space, when Helldivers 2 had the PSN login requirement, all those same countries again were unable to play the game. Well, now those same countries are going to not be able to go ahead and buy a game. The insane amount of greed, the insane amount of control, which is the theme across this video if you haven't noticed, is actually astounding. Restricting all those countries from getting access to play video games at all, simply because they don't want to go ahead and have PSN available in those countries to have a digital service, is mind-numbingly stupid. How are you going to sit there, PlayStation and Sony, and restrict over half of the actual planet because you want to go ahead and no longer do physical products? Literally all those sales gone. All that entire revenue kaput, out the window. All those customers evaporated because you feel you can squeeze out more money out of the other 38% of the actual planet that you in fact want to service. Literally insane. And the thing is, they're going to ratchet up the prices on you every single time to make up for all those issues and all those customers that they are in fact losing. with the article saying this: the reality is, unless Sony rolls out PSN in more of these 121 countries, the majority of the globe will be unable to buy games for the PlayStation 6. If you want to know exactly who is excluded, Insider Gaming wrote an extensive list of every country without access to PSN back in 2024, at the height of the Helldivers 2 scandal. Unfortunately, in the 2 years since the article went live, the list has not changed. And even Push Square says this: millions of gamers value true ownership. PS5 and PS4 represented half of all the UK physical game revenue in 2025. I truly cannot believe that PlayStation is more than willing, more than capable, not only to kneecap itself across its entire anime division with Crunchyroll, basically stopping the purchase of physical anime, and instead moving you over to basically just Funko Pops and garbage, and then have the actual audacity to actually realize, we're going to be doing all digital, but our entire network doesn't work across more than half the actual planet. Anybody who truly believes Sony and PlayStation knew what they were doing clearly had no idea at all. The insane behavior, the hubris, the ridiculous greed truly is astounding to me. But the problem is, though, they're not the only ones. And it looks like other companies as well are trying to follow suit and faking physical. Because according to Push Square on Twitter saying this: Halo's physical PS5 disc won't play without a download. With the article saying this is according to an updated listings for the game across various retail websites, including Amazon. Even the box art comes with a disclaimer at the bottom. Of course, because Campaign Evolved is a purely single-player experience, the remake skips the original title's multiplayer component entirely. You may have assumed that no extra data would be necessary to actually play it. But no, it falls in line with other unplayable without a download discs like Starfield, Crimson Desert, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and many more. Now, I know what you might be thinking: Alex, what in the hell are you even talking about? Well, this isn't the first time that Xbox has in fact done this, especially to PlayStation gamers. You see, when Xbox has been putting their games onto the PS5, it turns out they're not actually putting the entire game on the disc. They're only putting a small amount of data, basically an installer for you to go ahead and access it and then download the rest of the game onto your hard drive, basically making the disc nothing more than similar to a Nintendo game keycard. Because even then, Doom the Dark Ages alone on itself with the PS5 version had only 85 megabytes of data on the disc in order for you to go ahead and just run the executable and then download the rest of the game to your console, literally making the disc an entire coaster and totally worthless, and just nothing more than an activated license for your game that you bought physically. But the article says even more. Check this out. With Does It Play on Twitter, in fact, saying this: confirmation that the new Halo release is the expected coaster. Needs a download to start, and it won't let you play without an additional login even after. A Twitter user was so kind as to share these insights from an early PS5 Collector's Edition copy with us. I'm trying to figure out what in the hell is even going on. Why is Xbox and Microsoft only shipping discs that have 85 megs of data or only 30 gigs of data when the actual game itself is like 150 gigs? Oh, but Alex, they have to print multiple discs in order to sell those games physically. You can't expect them to do that. Oh, I can't? I'm sorry. Did I grow up in Bizarro World? Y'all forget this? Huh? Y'all forgot about this bad boy? I don't know, Final Fantasy VII? It didn't just have one disc. No. It had one disc, and then it had, two more discs. Crazy. All for the same price of every other game as well. And you know what? That one wasn't the only one. I know. I love physical media too. Final Fantasy VIII. Oh, we gotta love it. 4 discs in one game, all for the same price as every other game on retail at the time when it came out. Let's see, shall we? Oh boy, there's 2, and look at that, boys. There's 2 more. Surprise! I don't know why it's so hard for these companies to print out discs that cost about a couple of cents per the dollar to go ahead and make sure that you own your game physically. And don't give me this brouhaha about, oh, they're trying to stop spoilers from going on the internet. That way you don't get spoiled from them. They're just trying to do all these things to make sure you have a great experience. No, they're not doing anything like that. What they're trying to do right now is one thing and one thing only: exert control over your media, exert control over the games that you want to buy, exert control over your physical content that they don't want to sell you anymore because they feel they can charge you more money after putting you inside of a digital storefront and locking you to an ecosystem. And what's really funny about all of this too is you can't trust Xbox either, or Microsoft. Check this out. Because Joshua Kane on Twitter says this: Microsoft deleted my account and OneDrive after acknowledging that I'm the owner of the account and that it was compromised. 25 years of data, thousands of euros spent on games, my son's baby pictures gone, all because Microsoft couldn't bring back a compromised account. One of the biggest companies ever couldn't do that, so they just deleted that like it was nothing. Shame on you, Microsoft. In fact, things got so bad, even Xbox support had to respond. Here's what they had to say, with Xbox support replying and saying this: "We're sorry this happened. It's not the experience we want anyone to have when their account is compromised. We have been working to restore access to your purchases and reached out with the next steps. Please check your voicemail or inbox." And Jez Corden also quote tweeting Xbox saying this: "The problem is there are hundreds of others that this has happened to. You shouldn't need to go viral to save your Microsoft account or any account from hacking. I've written to regulators in Europe to find out what rights people might have with regards to this." And look, I'm going to be real. Right now, Xbox and Microsoft have been given a golden ticket, literally have been given Willy Wonka's golden goose to lay every golden egg they possibly can. And what are they doing? Nothing with it. They're still putting out games that are incomplete on the disc, require a login for a single player game, require a download for a game that you bought physically, and having your accounts completely banned and removed. The only saving grace Xbox could have in the next generation is going to be with Project Helix being an open platform, simply a PC. And the issue that they're going to be dealing with is, why am I going to buy any game on Xbox when those are the issues I have to deal with? Right now, everybody says, I'll buy my game on Steam. I'll buy my games on GOG. I'll go ahead and get the free game on Epic, I guess, because I don't spend any money there either. People would rather trust those other companies because of the fact that they put the customer first. They put the ownership of their accounts first. If you look up Steam account hacking memes, you're going to see everything happen across the board. A 300-person company can outperform, outmaneuver, outplay, and out customer service a company like Microsoft every day of the week. And it just goes to show that even if they do open up other storefronts on the Xbox, they're going to get creamed. They have to go ahead and provide physical games for the customers. All the data on the disc playable on day one without a download. And that's how they're going to be able to win this entire generation. But if they don't do that, if they don't get better refund policies, if they don't get better account securities, if they don't go ahead and restore accounts that were hacked from other people, then they're going to lose the battle that is so desperately needing to be won. These companies don't want wars. They don't want to win. They don't want to compete. What they want to do is take your account, keep you locked in their ecosystem, and control you. Control what you pay, control what you buy, control how you buy it, and control everything that you want to go ahead and enjoy yourself with. That's how they're going to make money out of you in every single corner. I am incredibly disappointed with Xbox and Microsoft having these kinds of things happen. Having a disc that is basically worthless unless you connect online and then sign into something. And even though Microsoft's own account structure system is far more robust than PlayStation's, it's still a massive issue overall, especially with Halo Campaign Evolved not having the multiplayer, which is even a bigger crime if you ask me, on a whole separate video we can talk about as well. This is literally the easiest W for Xbox. Literally the easiest one they could honestly take. They've been given a golden platter up front with everybody else, and yet still they're not doing anything about it. Y'all could literally win the entire next generation if you just made physical discs and you gave people actual ownership of their digital games. You guys are halfway there with Play Anywhere. I don't know why you just haven't taken that full step to make sure people feel safe spending money on your platform. Easiest win. The easiest win! But as always, I want to hear what you guys got to say about this in the comments section down below. Do you think PlayStation is in fact trying to remove all physical content whatsoever, and even then restrict over half the planet on their actual games and services? Or do you feel like this is being blown out of proportion? And what do you think about Xbox too? Do you think they can actually turn this entire thing around and be better overall as a platform? Or do you think they might even follow PlayStation and follow suit with them too? I want to hear what you got to say. And speaking about what you got to say, here's the comment of the day from yesterday's video. With Oliver Adam 809 saying this: Sony, I need that money. Gamers. I missed the part where that's my problem. Ooh, good old Reggie Bars, baby. Those were the ones back in the day when E3 was a hell of a show to watch. Remember E3 week? You'd make your own little pillow fort and then just watch the entire time? Yeah. Back when G4 was actually around and good. I remember those days. I miss them every time. But literally, Sony, I missed the part where that's my problem. If you want my money, it's time you earn it. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you want to see more of this kind of content though, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, and live streams, subscribe to the channel. If you want Discord access or emotes during those live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. Look, if you don't want to spend the buck, don't even sweat it. Just come on down Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on the channel as I wear a banana suit and get insulted with text-to-speech. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Live Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel. Do you want to hang out with me and have even more of me though? Check out Oh No It's Alex Gaming. Link to my second channel is in the description down below. New videos come out every single Monday with other topics in the gaming industry, and I'll stream games there every Monday to Friday from around 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Right now we're finishing up Black Myth Wukong and then starting on Lies of DSP. Lies of P. Come on down, hang out, and help me get you through your workday. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you Gooners next time. Peace!